Hi, this is Larry the Barberman of larrythebarberman.com, and today we are going to discuss modifying the T outliner trimmer. When I say modify, I mean skeletoning the trimmer. I mean cutting off the top of the trimmer, and the reason you'd want to do this is for a couple of reasons. A, it gives more airflow inside of the trimmer, which keeps it cooler and stops it from overheating, for one. Secondly, it reduces the amount of vibration on the trimmer, which in return will give the trimmer more power, more torque. I mean, it pretty much makes the clipper trimmer formidable. It's a really good modification. So with that said, let's get down to the modification. In order to modify the T outliner trimmer, you're going to need a few things. This is how I do it personally. How you choose to do it may be totally different. I basically use a ruler, a Phillips screwdriver, a Stanley knife, a small flathead screwdriver, a marker, of course a hacksaw, two washing up sponges, some fine sandpaper and some cool sandpaper. These are what you're going to need to just basically smooth down the product when you're finished. So, and I'll be using the hair blaster to just help assist with the cleaning. And so let's get down to it. So this is the T outliner trimmer. What we're going to do, we're going to cut the top off of the trimmer, and then we're going to sand it down. But before we do that, we first need to get rid of this fascia, the plate, and we need to get rid of the blades as well for now. So let's get started by first doing that. So we'll use the flathead screwdriver, and like I said, we're just going to remove these two screws on the front here, which will get rid of the plate. So we start there, just basically. And what I would advise that you work with a corrugated rubber mat or get a towel. So basically remove that plate. Then we want to remove the blade, and that's when you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. One, two. And what I will do is just basically put all of this stuff over to the side, as I won't need it for a little while. So once you've done taken off the blade, just give it a little cleaning. This is the hair blast. It's an extremely high-powered air source of air that's good for cleaning down your tools and your chairs, and indeed when you're doing modifications like this. So that's the trimmer all stripped down and ready to be modified and clean. Now I'm going to use the marker to basically mark it and use it as a guideline for where I'm going to saw. So the point of reference when doing this modification is this first line here underneath the Andis logo, and basically we're just going to follow that line all the way around the trimmer, and this is what we're going to use as a guideline when we're sawing it. So I'm basically just going to pick up on the line, just take it all the way around. You don't need to do this thick, just basically do it thin. And then when you get round the back, where it's got the specifications of the trimmer, you can basically just use that as a guideline, because it's a straight line on the same line. So you can use that, and then there you see the line meets again. So why I'd use the ruler here is with the Stanley knife, because if you can get a little groove inside of that line, it will make the first part of the hacksawing a lot easier. So I just basically use the put my ruler there, get the standing knife, be careful with this, and basically just score. Score your lining. Now you don't need to have a vise, but I personally like to use a vise. I've got one. If you don't use a vise, I would recommend using some sponge. You just basically want something you can rest the trimmer on that's obviously going to bolster it from the surface and stop it from rolling, and you'll get that by just using the two sponges, but I prefer to use a vise. So I'm basically going to sandwich the trimmer in between these two sponges and then just get them in the vise, and then I know it will just stay steady that way for me. Some people can just do it off of the sponges or just indeed straight off of the work surface, but this is how I choose to do it. So I've got the vise here, so it would be criminal not to use it. So that's in the vise and pries nicely. So this is, at this point I use hacksaw with a plastic blade on it. Then I'll try and pick up this line that I've just created. Just start off really, really slowly. That's what you want. You want the teeth to find the bite. And just give it long strokes as well. That's one part, two parts, so it's just all fallen off. It's all come together in the very end. So that's that. So as you see there, we've now got the foundation of the skeleton in, and that's now redundant, and that's now redundant. We've just got a little bit of shaving mess, so again I'll just use the hair blower, holding on to these bits because I know what's going to happen to them. So there you go, we're all clean. So there we have it. Now obviously we've got a rough surface from the sawing down. So we start off with a coarse piece of sandpaper. Just turn that off. Okay, so for the purpose of this video, we'll just stop it on the rough section now. And like I said, what you should do is do it with the rough, and then when you're going to finish off, you use a smoother one, which is P120. So as you see, this one just smooths down all the rough edges. Okay, so for the purpose of the video, obviously you can carry on sanding this down, but we'll just leave it at that for now. Let me just clean this surface off. Right, so when you're finished, obviously the initial front plate is now redundant, and the 2 screws for the front plate is now redundant. You no longer need that. That's what was actually causing the rattling and reducing the power, but now it's gone. Obviously you're going to maximize more on the power. Also clean down inside, because all the filings would have now gone into the machine. So basically just if you haven't got one of these hair blowers, you can basically get the blasters from out of the DIY shop. They're about £7, and that's another good way of blasting it out. So once you're finished with the skeleton process, it's just a question of refitting your blade, and then you're good to go. And another great thing about this modification is the fact that you've now got easy access to your tension screw. So when your trimmer starts playing up and not performing as it should, 9 times out of 10 it's the tension screw, and now you're going to have complete access to the tension screw, or easy access should I say. I'm struggling with this blade here. Right, there we go. Both screws are in. And now we just screw it back down like that. And there you go, one skeleton trimmer. And like I was saying, with the trimmer like this, on this particular trimmer, the tension point is this particular screw here. So when it's underperforming and not cutting as it should, even though the blade is really, really sharp, that means the tension's off. Because if it isn't the correct tension in exactly the right place on the blade, then that will stop the blade from cutting the way that it should. But if you look in one of my other videos, you'll see the process for tuning it. So it's just a question of tweaking this screw here, and you'll see this spring going up and down the hole that is in the blade. So that's it. That's how you modify a T outliner trimmer. It's another demonstration from Larry the Barber Man. If you found this demonstration helpful, I would ask that you subscribe to my YouTube channel to get other tips and tricks on how you can modify, repair and improve your barbering equipment, clippers and trimmers in particular. Thank you for now, Larry the Barber Man.